Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we take a look at Week 15 contest picks in the NFL. Kevin Rogers and Holden Kushner with you. Last week, we can brag about it. We went 4-1 on our selections, including the consensus, never in doubt, LA Chargers, last-second field goal against Atlanta. Easy. So now we move on to this week, and we have 5 more selections. In fact, 5 road teams. So we're going to start with our first selection, Holden Kushner.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to tell you about it because I already laid the bet. But Kansas City -3, they've lost 5 straight against the spread. That's fine. Mahomes actually didn't look good last week because he threw 3 interceptions, and then he looked amazing, and this is the Chiefs, right? But the news, the bombshell broke this morning. Sean Payton said Drew Brees may be able to play this week. So let's try and read through the lines here. Is he saying that because he wants the Chiefs to prepare for 2 quarterbacks? He also said Brees physically was okay, but he's in too much pain to play. I don't know what the answer to this question is, K-Rod. Here's what I know. I think Kansas City on the turf against a good defense, it doesn't matter what defense it is. Patrick Mahomes is going to take this team apart. They will score many points. I think the Saints with Taysom Hill actually might struggle a little bit against this Kansas City defense. If Brees is in there, Alvin Kamara gets a bump up. I'm not sure. I like Kansas City -3 on the road.
Yeah, the Chiefs 0-5 against the spread their last 5, even though they've won them all. So we'll see if they snap that skid on Sunday. For my first pick, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans on the road, getting 7 at Indianapolis. Second time in the last 3 weeks these teams facing off. The Colts beat them by 6 2 weeks ago in Houston. Deshaun Watson had a chance to score the go-ahead touchdown, fumbled, and the Colts recovered. And Houston was terrible last week, a 29-point loss at Chicago. I think they rebound this week. The Colts coming off back-to-back road wins, the game at Houston, and last week they were terrific at Las Vegas. And now they're back at home, where at times they've been a little shaky. They lost to Baltimore at home. They didn't cover against Cincinnati at home. I just think that here people are overlooking Houston. I know the Texans are kind of in the toilet now, but after last week, I think they play better. And I'm going to take the 7 with the Houston Texans on the road at Indianapolis for my first pick. Holden, your second pick.
That's a gutsy play, my friend. I like gutsy plays. I want to talk this one out with you, okay? Because you're down in the Miami area. New England +2. They've been favored in 33 of 34 meetings, and here they are. They're a dog going up against Miami. Belichick knows Flores. He knows all about him. They won that first game. But as you know, the Dolphins are playing much better. They've actually figured out how to stop the run. Raekwon Davis has been terrific. But Tua might be without some weapons this week. Gesicki is banged up, might have Parker, might have Jakeem Grant. I'm not sure. I just like the Belichick factor. I think the offensive injuries scare me a little bit off of Miami. Am I crazy for taking New England this week?
No, well, a couple things. Patriots got a few extra days off after the Rams lost. And look, LA is playing really, really well. And I mentioned last week that the Rams have been like unstoppable defensively at home. Miami's been really good defensively, but also Mahomes, they went on, a 30-0 run in that game or something like that before the Dolphins came back and covered. But New England beat Miami in week 1. That was Fitzpatrick. Now you got Tua against the Patriots defense. And you talk about Belichick. Belichick's had a lot of success against rookie quarterbacks. So that's another thing to put in your pocket. I just wonder if the Patriots can move the ball. And that with Cam, that's the one thing I really wonder, because the Dolphins' offense really hasn't been good. The defense has stepped up for them this year, but I really wonder if Tua can do something against this Patriots defense.
Yeah, that's my big concern here, especially if Parker and Gesicki are out. He really needs these weapons. By the way, he had a couple of balls last week, just a complete cannon. It was really fun to watch him play against that Kansas City team. But I will take the Patriots at 6-7 and 2-5 on the road. I will take them +2.
So Holden's got the Patriots against the Dolphins as his second pick. For my second selection, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. Oh, they're not playing this week? Oh, it's the Niners and Cowboys in Dallas. It's Andy Dalton and Nick Mullins. Not exactly Summerall and Madden broadcasting this game, but San Francisco laying 3 against Dallas. I'm going to lay the points with San Francisco. The 49ers have not been a good favorite this year, but this is more of a fate of Dallas here. Number one, Dallas has not won back-to-back games this year. Andy Dalton had the revenge game against Cincinnati last week. We know the Bengals are one of the worst teams in football. They weren't good with Joe Burrow. Now Joe Burrow's not there. They're even worse than that. But Dallas's defense has been shredded all season. San Francisco played a pretty good Washington defense last week. And if you look at it, Washington scored 2 defensive touchdowns in that game last week. Niners just couldn't move the ball, but Washington couldn't do it either. So I really wonder what San Francisco can do against this Dallas defense that isn't very good. And also, Holden, here's another thing. With the Niners, I like the fact they're getting out of Arizona. They got stuck there playing the Bills and the football team the last 2 weeks. Now at least you're getting back into a true road game. It's not a neutral site game. I think San Francisco here, them still laying points against the Dallas team, and we haven't seen the Cowboys as a home dog that often. I think San Francisco is the play right here.
Okay, I'm fine with that. San Francisco, the play this week. I mean, really, no Steve Young, no Jerry Rice. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
No Alvin Harper. No one's playing.
Oh,
It's really bad. So now we have our consensus pick. Our pick number 5 on the day, on Sunday in the NFL, and we're going to go with a division showdown in Minnesota between the Bears and the Vikings. Minnesota beat Chicago the first time around at Soldier Field on the Monday night. And this time around, we're going to go with the road team and think that the Chicago Bears are going to get the job done. And when I say think, I mean we know they're going to get the job done. The Bears getting 3 against the Vikings, and Chicago's lost 3 straight on the road, but a really good win against Houston last week. Trubisky played well. I think that Minnesota, they have no confidence in the kicking game. I think the Bears get them this time.
I got to tell you, I am all full of Fanta when I think about this one. Just all excited. In all seriousness, though, let's face it, Trubisky has played much better. He's been much more efficient. Look at what Montgomery has been able to do, too. David Montgomery has really taken this offense over. He's doing a little bit of everything. I think the Bears are going to be able to score. They are going to be able to score with the Vikings. I actually look for a little higher scoring game than many would think because I think Cousins is going to be able to move the ball a whole bunch. And I really do like the over at 47. But if we're talking about the Bears here, they can get some pressure on Kirk Cousins. I think that they do I think that Minnesota wins straight up, but I think the Bears, at the very least, can lose by a field goal and probably keep it a little bit closer than that.
And remember, Nick Foles played the first time that Monday night game, and he was terrible. So we'll see what Trubisky does this time around in the second matchup in Minnesota. So let's review our picks for Week 15, the contest selections. All 5 picks, all road teams, as Holden going with Kansas City at New Orleans, also taking the Patriots against the Dolphins. I have Houston at Indianapolis. For my second selection, I'm taking San Francisco against Dallas. And for the consensus pick, the Chicago Bears at Minnesota coming up on Sunday. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Vegas Insider. For Holden Kushner, I'm Kevin Rogers. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with your bets.